So picking a South Island rugby team, I'm looking at guys who were born in the South Island, regardless of where they play now, but must be under a Super Rugby contract for this 2018 season. I've done it for Auckland. The results were mixed. I've done it for the North Island. The results were pretty good. So let's see how a South Island team does in comparison. So, on the loose head side, from Christchurch, I'm going with Wyatt Crockett. There's probably some more exciting younger picks because, I mean, he's 35. He's about to retire from Super Rugby. That's kind of why I've gone with him. If I ever was to do this kind of video again, I wouldn't be able to choose him because he's going to be gone from the scene. But he's been a real servant for New Zealand rugby. Never went overseas. Played pretty much one club in Super Rugby. So, yeah, he's not going to let you down given that he's... still gets starts at one of the strongest scrummaging teams in Super Rugby. So, yep, no complaints there. Hooker, there were a few less options than I might have thought. But I've gone with Eliot Dixon, also from Christchurch. Plays for the Highlanders. Actually, I should probably put an A there. So yeah, he's probably not a first choice hooker. He's not at Dane Cole's level. He's probably behind a few other guys in terms of All Black selection, but he's played for the Māori All Blacks. And I think he would do an admirable job in this team. Next, from Motueka, I've gone with Owen Franks. Here's a guy who just loves to scrum. I remember after, I think it was the 2011 World Cup, they asked him and his brother Ben, what are you guys going to do to celebrate? And they were both just like looking forward to getting back to the gym. Yeah, they just love rugby and love scrumming and tackling and that kind of stuff. So again, there are probably guys who've got more try scoring nous, but in terms of packing down in the scrum, I think he's a pretty good choice. In the second row, I've gone with Brodie Retallick. Pretty much picks himself as one of the world's best locks. So he's from Amberley. Yeah, he's just an amazing guy. Scores tries, gets turnovers, jumps in the line out, tackles, runs. He just does it all, which is what makes him pretty special. I wasn't able to pair him up with Sam Whitelock, so I've gone with Luke Romano, who's no slouch. He's from Nelson. He's been kind of a third choice guy behind Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick. So instead of the Whitelock-Romano pairing, it's Retallick and Romano. Still pretty strong. Stronger than what Auckland have got in my other team anyway. In the back row, loose head, open side. I've gone with Eliot Dixon. So he's a guy who's had a taste of the All Blacks jersey before, but never really been able to cement a place there. He's talked about possibly going overseas if he doesn't get a look in for the World Cup. So yeah, he's a more talented in ball handling than some other guys in a similar position. But yeah, good tackler. He's probably peaked in that season where the Highlanders won Super Rugby, and he's not been quite as favoured since then, but he's already shown good signs this season that he's stepping it back up and putting his hand up for an All Blacks jersey. So yep, pretty happy with that choice. Number 8, oh, where's Dixon from? He's from Christchurch. Number 8, I've gone with Liam Messam from Blenheim. So yeah, he's 33, but he's still solid. He may not quite have that dynamic first step that he used to have back when he was playing sevens, but yeah, he's still a very solid number 8. I don't think many teams would complain about having Liam Messam in their lineup. He's kind of a leader as well amongst the Chiefs players, so I think that'd be useful in this forward pack because I mean Ash Dixon's a captain as well. But it's good to have another leader in those ranks. On the open side, I have gone from Christchurch for Matt Todd. So a really good servant of South Island rugby. pretty fitting to have Matt Todd there. He's been a understudy of Richie McCaw for all those years. Must have picked up a few things because he's still a very good player. In and out of the All Blacks. Again, another guy who always seems to be behind a couple of other people, be it Sam Cane or be it Richie McCaw. But he's stuck with his guns and he's still there. So, yeah, I have no problems picking him in the South Island team. For scrum half, there was probably only really one choice. And that was Mitch Drummond. Mostly because the other guys who play Super Rugby in that position are from the North Island, like TJ, Aaron Smith, Brad Webber. They're all from the North Island. So Mitch Drummond's at that level, kind of like Luke Romano at lock. He's below the two top guys, but he's definitely at that level with several other guys to try and get that third spot. If there was an injury to Aaron Smith or TJ Perenara, you think he'd be competing for a call-up. But at the moment anyway, I don't think he'd be even pushing TJ or Aaron. But still, I mean, in this team, he's no slouch. I mean, you don't get to play as many games as he's played for the Crusaders unless you're a pretty good player. So, yeah, pretty happy with that. Next, gone with Richie Mo'unga. Similar to Drummond, man. Like, you don't get to play this many games for the Crusaders unless you're good. And he came onto the scene, after Dan Carter left. And it was kind of like, at least if you're an Auckland fan, it's like, haha, they're not going to have a top class number 10 anymore. They're going to be in the situation that the Blues have been in. No, it's just been great. It's just been great. And I think if anyone's going to push Bodie for that number 10 jersey initially, it's going to be Richie. Damien McKenzie's on the scene as well, but doesn't quite have that experience at 10 that Mo'unga does at the moment. He might be able to catch that up, but for now, I have gone with Richie at 10. 12, I've gone with Crotty. Richie, by the way, Mo'unga is from Christchurch. Ryan Crotty's from Nelson. So Crotty, I think, All Black selectors are really finally in the last few years realising the value he's had for the All Blacks. Like, he used to kind of get pushed behind Sonny Bill whenever Sonny Bill would come back. Like when he came back from league, it was kind of like, oh, well, Crotty would go back down the pecking order. But maybe not so much anymore because Crotty's really shown that he makes the All Blacks teams better. And he's going to make this team better as well. So pretty impressive midfield player. And the guy outside him, Leonard Brown, also from Christchurch. Him and Crotty are neither of them like Sonny Bill. They're neither like real flashy players who are gonna. I mean, they'll still do dynamic things, but they're not known for that one pass or one run offload or whatever it is that kind of wins a game. But they just do so much more. Their all-round games are pretty amazing. Tackling, running with the ball, passing, just all-round top-class players. So again, maybe not on everyone's highlight reel, not like a Damien McKenzie, but yeah, very good players. So Crotty and ALB, that's pretty much an All Blacks midfield right there. And the outside backs were tricky because there's a few to choose from, and I'll start with the left wing. So I'm putting David Harvey Lee on the left wing. He's normally a fullback. He's from Nelson. But I had this spot with somebody else, so I still had to get him into the team. Pretty happy with him on the wing. He's another young guy who's, pushing his case for, for New Zealand. He's done well with the Crusaders. I think he's only going to go from strength to strength. He's still pretty young, so not quite able to push in at his preferred 15, but I'm putting him at 11, and I think he'll be fine. Now, at 15, there's Ben Smith. And I hate it when Ben Smith doesn't get picked at fullback because Ben Smith is one of the best fullbacks in the world. And he can play other positions, but they're not his best positions. So, yeah, it annoys me. But now that I've had to pick this team, I kind of see how he ends up getting not selected at fullback because I have had to put him on the right wing. I mean, I didn't want to not have him in my team, but the person I've picked at fullback, I think, needs to be at fullback and can't go on the wing. So I've put Ben Smith on the wing. It's not his best position, but he's still going to take the high balls. He's still going to do those runs where he's just like an eel and doesn't get tackled. He's still going to kick well. So yeah, he doesn't get fullback, but he's still in the team. Had to have him there. For 15, I had to put in the kind of excitement machine player, Damien McKenzie. So it's Damien, not Marty. Ben Smith, by the way, is from Dunedin. Damien McKenzie is from Invercargill, right at the bottom of the South Island. So yeah, I mean, he's only like in his early 20s, but he's just the runs. He's not that big, but he gets hit and he gets back up. He goes in for tackles on some pretty big guys. Sometimes he gets run over, but a lot of the time he makes the tackle. So yeah, very good player. Can't not have him in the team. Kicks goals. I mean, you got McKenzie and Moonga who kick goals in this team. So yeah, it's a pretty good looking team. I think they would give the other teams a run for money. I'll see if I can put them up on the screen here. So, I mean, in terms of which team's the strongest, you guys give me your thoughts on that. I don't think it's the Auckland team. Auckland might have it in the outside backs, but I mean, the South Island team maybe suffers a little bit from the fact that they've got kind of 3 fullbacks in the back 3. But Julian Savia, Nihi Milner-Skudder and Geordie Barrett, definitely a strong lineup for the North Island team. Smith and Bodie is probably the best 9-10 combination. Who do you go with, Retallick and Romano or Whitelock and Bird? Man, it's tough. The one area which is probably the most even across all 3 would have to be either the midfield. They're all pretty good. Ioane, Asa. Maybe I should have put Ioane at 13. Maybe Sonny Bill Ioane with Asa on the wing looks better for Auckland. Crotty, Leonard Brown, Lamapi, Goodhue. They're all pretty good. Or perhaps the back rows are all pretty nice. Taufua, Hunt, and Reed, Todd, Messam, and Dixon, or Squire, Kane, and Artie Savia. So yeah, if this was a tri-series, who do you guys think would win it? I'm pretty confident that Auckland comes third, but who do you reckon wins it between North and South? They used to have these games, North and South, but they haven't done it for a few years, so it'll be an interesting one to see. But yeah, I think I'll be able to work on some South African and Aussie teams by regions at some point, but I just need to work out how to best divide them up. Alright guys, that's it from me. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again for another one soon.